we as a people have a lot of healing to do. It starts somewhere, right? A lot of us don't know that we have a lot of issues that have been passed down from generation to generation to generation. We have we act like our mothers, we act like our fathers. We have so many things that we behaviors that we can't get rid of or let go. It's very important to do, like, to self-heal or to just, find ways to make changes for the better. And I think, like, when you're in a relationship and there's something that keeps getting in the way, I think that you need something to try to, to kind of like, start the healing process. So even with, like, in relationships, if you feel like you're not great with relationships, you need to get something like this, right? This is not the best, I'm not trying to do an ad or anything, but sometimes something as simple as a game can help you form the words to now ask your partner certain questions or figure out a better way to approach certain things that are happening in the relationship, or try to find out how your significant other feels in the relationship and how you can help them. And I think that just by simply incorporating something like this into your lifestyle is going to help you have a healthier relationship. Yeah. So this is one way. For sure. Sex isn't always the answer, y'all. Like, I know we always say fuck more, but I really don't think that's always the answer. Because,
it's just a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
I will say this. Like, I believe that it's very isolating when you're in a relationship or a marriage or whatever, and you can't have those conversations with your partner.
Right.
So you're having these conversations, you're working through your stuff and talking about your stuff, but you don't get that in return.
Exactly.
And I think it makes you feel very, what's the word? Alone. It can make you feel very isolated and alone in a relationship or in a marriage.
Right.
So, we have to really figure out ways to create a safe space. A lot of people are saying that take away the podcast, all these men with podcasts, all they doing is crying on the internet, which many of you are. But there's a lot of validity to that statement and men being able to talk and hash it out and have a safe space. And it's important.
What do you think?
I think that ultimately, we all should do better about understanding our emotions and understanding why we have the certain emotions that we come from. So I think that as a man, if you take better care of your own emotions, you'll find that you'll have a healthier relationship with your woman. Because if you are understanding and you're getting better at expressing yourself, then it'll be easier for her to understand and move how you need her to move, so that y'all can both be emotionally happy. But I also think that I also believe that women can do a better job about when let's say a man does get really upset and he starts going off. Sometimes it is best for us to listen, even if he's, as long as he's not, cussing you out, to just listen to what he's saying, because sometimes it's those moments when there's these emotional outbursts that he's really trying to tell you how he feels. He finally got to a point where he can really release it. Listen to him then. Understand what he's saying then get your little clapbacks in, whatever. But listen to what he's saying and then bring it up later when y'all are calm. Bring up, I heard you say this, and this when you were upset with me. I understand you were upset. Maybe you didn't say it the best way, but I do want to work on that with you. I want to work on that for you,
That's hard to be like, to not get your jabs in when somebody jabbing at you.
Oh, but I love what you're saying, though, because that is a part of the growth that we need to get out of there. You don't always argue. It doesn't always have to be an argument. Sometimes people really just trying to tell you how they feel, and you need to hear it, like, and try to, decode it a little bit, because sometimes people are being a little, it's hard to comprehend right away, but it's really important to listen when somebody's getting their shit out, because one, how they feel about you. Two, you can understand where they're coming from. And now, three, you can start working on how we fix it, or are we going to work?
Exactly.
Figure that shit out early. Figure it out early, because that's crazy, because that's literally something that I've been experiencing, where I'm just like, sometimes I do got to shut up and listen. You know what I'm saying? And it feels good, because now I'm like, oh, okay, well, if I just, it's a quick fix sometimes. Like, it's just easy, And I think, like, sometimes we think we are ready for change, but we're not. And also, I think it's important for men to really know what they want. What is it that you really want in a woman? What is really the issue in your relationship? Do you think that you can express it and fix it, or do you think that you're holding on to something that is not going to work? Because if you can't say how you feel to the person you're with, then how far is it really gonna go? You know, now you're gonna just
That's
be
real.
pretending to be something you're not in a relationship. Really figure out what the hell y'all want.
Yeah.
Do you think that we women, and you kind of mentioned this earlier, just like the way the world is now with social media and all this stuff, do you think that oftentimes men believe that women are too masculine
Yeah.
and it doesn't create an environment where they can, you know, be free with their emotions or at least talk about it or recognize it? And I'm saying masculine, but I don't even know if that's
Just
the
alpha.
appropriate word, you know, but just less feminine, I guess.
Yeah. That's real. I think that does cause an issue, but I honestly feel like the rise of masculinity in women and Black women is two parts. It's something that we have to work on, and it's something our men have to work on. Our men have to work on their level of masculinity to make us feel safe being soft, submissive women. And I know men don't like to hear people say that, but that's the reality. I've seen very combative women, like women, and they get around men that are very healthy, masculine, and they put, they say hey, and they be like,
You right.
You know what I mean? It's that,
Let me shut up.
we like, most women like when their man puts their foot down a little bit, that little turn me on a little bit, but yeah. So as far as the masculinity thing, like I said, I think that's two parts. But of course, as women, we do need to learn how to sometimes soften. Even though this world has kind of made us very hard, to have to survive some of the things that we have survived. But yeah, we do have to soften up sometimes, and sometimes just like, you know what, okay.
See,
okay, baby.
It's hard for me because now you done tapped into another part of my brain. I don't know, it's the frontal lobe, the inner, the cerebral.
It's the squishy part.
Yeah, because honestly, y'all, yes, this world has made it very hard to be a Black woman and to be soft and gentle and trusting and giving. It's like constantly like you're constantly being abused and taken for granted and just beaten on and just like nobody's like not having anybody to cry to, like to lean on, to really ask for, just to ease up a little.
Yeah.
Imagine that, and then someone asking you to be there for them in a relationship and raise their children, and then still in those situations you're still being abused and taken advantage of and hurt, and then you're having to raise daughters, and then you're having to raise sons, and you just have so much
potentially alone.
Like, it's really difficult, and I don't think that anyone has really talked about how hard it is to be a Black woman and why it's so important for us to just be loved on as well. Because, yeah, we're still pouring into everybody else, our kids, our men, like we're pouring into everyone, and we still sometimes feel like, but do you respect me? Do you really love me? Are you really willing to heal with me? Because I am for you, but I need to know that you are willing to do that with me and for me. And can you be my protector? Can you be my provider? Can you really make me feel like this is it for me? Because if you can make me feel that way, you won't ever have to look anywhere else. But a lot of us don't feel like that.
Don't feel safe in our relationship.
Right.
Safe, that is exactly the word. Like, we have to feel comfortable and safe and protected to show that more feminine side, because you out here all day fighting for your life. You know what I mean?
For my life, and you got me having to fight bitches too.
You don't want to come home and fight for your life.
I don't want to have these scars on my body because you doing me dirty, and I really loved you, and I really thought that you was gonna hold it down, and I'm mad as hell that the kids be the issue in the relationship. Why don't y'all want to be with y'all kids so bad sometimes? That's what I'm saying. Like I'm sorry, because as a woman who had a baby and who went through postpartum, and I don't know how that chemical shit happens, I was the one person that never thought I would ever go through any depression. But like, when you go through postpartum, imagine going through like postpartum and you're in a relationship with someone and they're not giving you the proper support. But we're sitting here talking about men's emotions, and I don't mean to always flip it, but it's like, yo, we need you to be there. Like, be there with us. Go through it with us. Like, help me help you in a way, Like, I want to be there for my man. I currently am happy to say that I am able to be there for my man, but it took for me to let him know, listen, open up, break down a little bit. Tell me what the problem is. Let me help you.
Can I stick up for men real quick? And I know y'all know this rarely happens, but I will say that a lot of men were not raised in homes where the fathers were there, one, or where the fathers were there and played an active role in raising that son. So that son really may not know what he's supposed to do. All he saw was his daddy potentially go to work and mama took care of everything else.
Right.
And she was working too, you know, but, and I don't, this isn't I'm not trying to like, I am taking up for men, but like, I don't want to make an excuse, but I do think we have to consider the fact that you kind of don't know what you don't know.
You
know?
don't.
But I'd also say that when it comes to like raising children and the stress that Black relationships have when it comes to raising children together, a lot of that is because Black people, you know, we naturally are communal people. So I you know, I've studied a lot of villages and a lot of different cultures where, and it could be Africa, it could be Indonesia, but the first year of the baby's life, all the women are helping the mother. So you know what I mean? Like men really don't know all this stuff when it comes, especially when the baby's breastfeeding and it's the little baby, like men are like, what do I do? Well, in a lot of cultures, the community is raising, and even back in the day, the community, you get your ass beat down the street.
Actually, you're right.
You know what I mean? So so we're at a point where we have been so individualized, we don't have that community anymore. So the women have way more pressure because we don't have a group of sisters helping us raise, helping us in the first year of life with the baby, which is so stressful. I mean, you're losing all of yourself to give everything to your child. You know what I mean? Literally, you're giving this child the sustenance to grow and live. So
you do it on your own, your man misses out and he loses, some of your attention and some of your, affection. And now that's affecting him. So that is really an issue in our relationships because now I'm giving so much time and energy and attention to my child. And it's so exhausting and time consuming that when you come home, I'm tired as hell. I got an attitude. Yo, the dinner's right here. I'm going to go lay down. Can you watch him for a second? Can I just go wash my ass? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, niggas got an attitude up in here. Like, it's tired. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, you got to figure out ways to work through that.